It's Holy Thursday, a solemn time when Christians across the world reflect on the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. But on today's show, we reflect on three other matters of importance during this period: road safety, eating healthy, and of course, a little fun. This is Jamaica Magazine, and I'm Adrian Atkinson. Please stay with us.
I have the pocket 6,000.
60,000?
Yeah.
How much I want?
Yeah, man, 2 bays I want.
Yeah, man, the one that's so.
Grand,
Yeah, man. Same. Alright,
What one, cat?
you don't know, I sit downtown the other day there.
Oh.
All the brethren in them, man, we buy and sell marina. One of them I sell a 6-pack for $1,000, and the next one I sell one for $200.
So where why?
Buy 5 of them for $1,000. Think them can't rob me.
So Uncle Fancy is the same $1,000 you would spend to get the 6? Seriously?
Tell them again now my math brains.
Math count.
Math counts.
Sponsored by the Ministry of Education.
Good day, I'm Andrea Chisholm and this is your JIS News for Thursday, April 2. National Security Minister Peter Bunting says he's satisfied with the pace of security arrangements for next week's visit of U.S. President Barack Obama and CARICOM heads of government. The security forces are working with the United States Secret Service to welcome and host the delegation. Minister Bunting says among the security initiatives is the immediate call-out of the JDF's National Reserve to strengthen security and crime prevention efforts across the island. Traffic diversions and road closures as well as airspace control measures are also being implemented. The increased security measures preceded Wednesday's incident at the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, where a white male hurled an unidentified bag over the wall onto the compound. Local security personnel were quick to respond and have taken the perpetrator into custody.
The Ministry of National Security can confirm that the contents of the bag were examined by the security forces and no threats were uncovered.
Local Government Minister Noel Arscott has promised that government is implementing several measures to prevent another major fire at the Riverton disposal site. Speaking at this week's Jamaica House media briefing, he said short-term measures would include re-establishing cell divisions and tipping faces, removing tires from the dump, and engaging the JDF and the JCF to review security arrangements.
I want to assure the public that clear steps are being taken to solve the problems and to contribute to a clean environment that our citizens deserve.
Fire suppression equipment and a pump to get water from the nearby Duhaney River will also be installed, while a water tank is to be constructed. The ministry is also partnering with the Japanese government to separate and process organic waste, and the Inter-American Development Bank is providing technical assistance in logistics and landfill management. In the meantime, Minister Arscott again expressed regret to the people affected by the fire, which burned for 12 days starting on March 11. It cost the government $235 million to extinguish. Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson says government supports and is committed to having a vibrant private health sector in Jamaica. He says as part of that, the administration will continue to explore public-private partnerships.
I do believe that public-private partnership is a win-win-win situation.
Dr. Ferguson was speaking recently at a function to commission a 64-splice CT scan machine into service. At the same time, additional rooms were opened at the Hargreaves Memorial Hospital in Mandeville.
This is a great day for health and is in line with the ministry's effort to improve service delivery, access to diagnostic equipment, and improve primary and secondary health care through improved quality of service, infrastructure renewal, and equipment acquisition.
The playfield at the Bogwalk High School in St. Catherine is to be upgraded at a cost of approximately $10 million. The minister responsible for sport, Natalie Nita Headley, broke ground for the project recently. She said upgrading the playfield would add to the development of the school's sports program.
Bogot has the potential to produce whatever it seeks to do. I am confident that this school is going to be one of them among the very best, certainly in this region, in this parish, and a contender in the country for years to come.
Work on the playfield is to be carried out by the Sports Development Foundation. It includes installing a proper irrigation system, including water tanks, as well as fencing the grounds. The upgrading work is part of the government's High School Sport Infrastructure Improvement Project, which is funded under the European Union's Sugar Transformation Program. All 200 students of the Lethe Primary and Infant School in Southern St. James are to get new computer tablets. They are being donated by past students Mr. and Mrs. Joel Webb through their company Caribbean eBook Limited. The first set of 50 tablets was presented during the recent official launch of the program, with the remaining 150 tablets to be delivered by mid-year. The tablets, which are said to operate without internet connection, are designed to help children learn in a more efficient and engaging way, offering access to over 150 applications. Chief Education Officer Dr. Grace McLean says the donation is a good complement to government's Tablet in Schools project.
We have distributed over 25,000 tablets to schools, to students across the island of Jamaica in 38 schools.
And finally, Tourism and Entertainment Minister Dr. Wickham McNeil will open the 2015-2016 sectoral debate in Parliament next Tuesday, April 7. The Tourism Minister's presentation will be followed by the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Anthony Hilton, as well as the opposition spokespersons for tourism and industry. Science, Technology, Energy and Mining Minister Philip Paulwell and Noel R. Scott, Minister of Local Government and Community Development, will also make their contributions next week. On Wednesday, they'll be joined by the opposition spokespersons for Transport and Infrastructure, as well as Science, ICT and Digital Society. The sectoral debate format has been changed, and for the first time, it will include only contributions from senior government ministers and their opposition counterparts. In addition, each speaker is given a maximum of 45 minutes to lay out their plans or suggestions to the country. There is to be 2 days of debate each week, with the entire process to wrap up on April 28. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thanks for watching.
Did you know climate change is decreasing the quality and quantity of water?
Climate change is expected to affect all aspects of food security, especially in the tropical region of which we are a part.
Climate change-related hazards such as prolonged droughts, more severe storms, and the overall irregularity of rainfall. These climatic stressors have resulted in a reduction of water in our rivers and watersheds.
Youth, we are depending on you to spread the message of climate change and its impacts. Be a climate change agent in your home, school, or community. With climate change, we must change.
Driver, slow down and stop the reckless overtaking, no?
You never hear so time is money.
Easy, driver. Well, no minimum man and taxi driver drive so bad.
Why him have to drive so hard? Me not gonna make you kill off me and me pick me them.
One stop driver. Make her come off this bus. Me say stop.
Me coming with you. The rest of not take chance within the life. Lord of mercy. That could have been us.
And look how we want the money.
Passengers, your safety is in your hands. Say one-stop driver and get off if the driver is speeding, overtaking recklessly, and not obeying the rules of the road. Don't give away your life. It is too precious.
Road crashes continue to claim the lives of our families and friends. But did you know that we can stop it? Yes, by reducing our speed and stopping reckless overtakings. The Easter weekend is buzzing with a lot of social events, and persons will also be traveling across parishes to visit family and friends. As you journey, continue the drive to promote road safety, starting with one simple but effective action: cut your speed.
Seems like it was yesterday when I saw your face. You told me how proud you were, but I walked away.
Many Jamaicans say they would never commit suicide, but some of us are attempting to do just that each day, and we don't even know it.
I would hold you in my arms. I would take the pain away.
We avoid the warning sounds in our vehicles, break the road rules, and ignore the many road safety appeals.
Last year alone, 330 persons died as a result of traffic crashes. Since 2001, 4,791 precious Jamaicans have been needlessly killed.
According to statistics from the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport Works and Housing, excessive speeding is one of the major causes of road fatalities in Jamaica.
There are 3 basic speed limits in this country in built-up area 50 kilometers. But with a proviso that in school zones there has to be a reduction in that speed. On the highways or the major roads it is 80 kilometers, and on the highway specifically the east-west highway 2000, not the north-south link, the east-west, it is 110 kilometers per hour.
Every time a driver exceeds the required speed limit, they increase their risk of being involved in a car crash.
In every crash, there are 3 collisions that we are going to experience. First collision is a vehicle collision.
Vehicle collisions cause the exterior of the vehicle to be crushed. Fortunately, most modern cars are designed with crumple zones to absorb some of the energy in a collision so as to reduce the maximum force felt by the occupant. Human collision happens when persons continue to move toward the point of impact until the moving vehicle comes to a stop. An unrestrained occupant will hit the inside of the vehicle, such as the window or windshield. A restrained occupant, however, suffers less impact if they were using safety devices like a seatbelt.
The final collision, which is the one that will determine whether or not you survive. And it is the one that creates the serious injuries, the internal organs collision. Any speed the vehicle is going, that's the speed your eyes, your nose, your ears, your kidney, your liver, your spleen, your pancreas, your lungs, your rib cage, your intestines. That's the speed everybody traveling, your brain also.
So how can road users reduce such gruesome road fatalities? I'm sure you hear it all the time.
Slow down. Slow down for your own life. Slow down for the lives of your passengers. Slow down for the lives of other road users. Just slow down.
Lowering your speed isn't the only thing to do to be road smart. You should also install and wear your safety devices.
Newton's laws of motion are for real. They are not a respecter of persons. The body at rest will stay at rest. A body in motion will stay in motion unless there is some unbalanced force that comes to redirect you. It's the collision that causes that redirection. When a collision occurs, everybody moves in that direction where the force is coming. So the force is coming from the handle, coming forward, that's where everybody is going to move. The seatbelt now is made to restrain you, keep you in the seat. Every child should be in a child seat. Once they have outgrown that, it depends on the weight and the size of the child, right? So they should be in a child seat. So kids, newborn kids up to about 2 years old, they should be in a child seat. If they are so big, they're getting so big, you might need to take them out and put them in a booster seat to get them a bit higher so that they can fit in the seat belt. Another critical road user that has been problematic for us is the motorcyclists. 65 died last year. 65 males. These crashes could have been prevented. These deaths could have been reduced had they decided to wear their helmet. Helmet must be worn at all times, and also the proper helmet, not the chimney helmet, right? One with the internal padding there to absorb the energy when the helmet hit the asphalt.
While we carry out our individual efforts to be safer on the road, know that the government is also playing its part in making our roadways safer for all.
The ministry is working with the National Road Safety Council and the Road Traffic Unit. We have been doing a lot of initiatives. The major one is the public education program. We have also been working with other stakeholders such as the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and we have been requesting as a result of their membership in the National Road Safety Council for them to have increased presence.
For more information, call the Road Safety Unit. Remember, road safety begins with you.
I would hold you in my arms.
Yo, we don't want to lose you. That's why we are counting on you to stay safe on the road.
Drinking and driving and speeding are a recipe for death and disaster. As to using your cell phone while driving, a mad thing that.
Yeah man, either thing to call, surf the net, text or visit the Facebook page while driving.
Do not use your cell phone while driving. If it is really urgent that you use your cell phone, pull over at a safe location on the road.
Arrive alive. Don't use your cell while you drive.
Let us go for road safety. All the time, every time.
A message from the NRSC and NHF.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Bun and cheese, fried fish and bami, just some of the foods we indulge in during Easter. But if you are diabetic or hypertensive, too much of these delicacies is cause for concern. As we encourage you to eat smart, watch this.
Blood pressure. The pressure put on the walls of our blood vessels as the heart pumps blood through them. Doctors say blood pressure can be high or low, depending on how fast or slow the heart beats. Your heart rate slows down when you rest and speeds up when you're excited or worried, pushing up your blood pressure. But there are other factors that can cause your blood pressure to rise, even to dangerous levels.
If your blood pressure rises and stays high over time, your doctor will tell you you have high blood pressure, also known as hypertension.
Hypertension or high blood pressure is known as a silent killer because you really don't have any symptoms.
Medical experts say hypertension is a serious condition that can lead to heart disease and other health problems.
The effect of blood pressure in the heart is that it affects the muscle, the left side of the heart, the left ventricle. That is what pumps the blood around the body. After it goes through the various stages, the left ventricle pumps the blood out. When we have high blood pressure, the heart is put under pressure to force the blood out much more than it would when your blood pressure was normal. And the left side of the heart gets stretched out.
One of the dangers of hypertension is that you can have it for years and not know it because there are no symptoms. During this time, it can damage your heart, blood vessels, kidneys, and other organs.
When we look at worldwide mortality, the single leading cause of worldwide mortality is uncontrolled hypertension. Somewhere between 25 to 28% of them never knew they were hypertensive.
Unfortunately, in Jamaica, there's about 25% of our population that studies have shown that suffer from high blood pressure. But worse than that, 50% of those persons are unaware that they have high blood pressure.
The greatest thing is to know that you are hypertensive. But if there are no symptoms, how can you know?
Frequent blood pressure checks, says Deborah Chen.
And also, don't do it once for your life and you're finished. You really should have it checked regularly because you may be okay today and over a period of time, you know, it develops. Most of the high blood pressure, it is of unknown origin. You know, it could be that it runs in the family and so on. But there are risk factors for high blood pressure.
Aging, drinking more than 2 alcoholic drinks a day for men or more than 1 drink for women. Eating too much sodium or salt, being overweight or obese, having high levels of cholesterol, not exercising, being under a lot of stress, and eating a diet low in potassium, magnesium, and calcium.
high blood pressure cannot be cured, but it can be treated and controlled. So when you have high blood pressure, and let us say your doctor decides that you're at the point where you do need to go on medication, you need to stay on the medication for the rest of your life.
Medical experts say high blood pressure cannot be cured, so the best option for the hypertensive is to keep the blood pressure in a healthy range. You can do that by getting your blood pressure checked regularly, eating a healthy diet, maintaining a healthy weight, staying physically active, limiting alcoholic drinks, not smoking, and preventing or treating diabetes.
An age group, say age 30 years and over, about 30 out of every 100 such persons have hypertension. If the hypertension is treated, then your risk from disease resulting from hypertension is considerably reduced.
The key to successful treatment of high blood pressure is making lifestyle changes and, if necessary, drug therapy. Doctors say high blood pressure is not a death sentence if you detect and treat it early.
And if you've been diagnosed with high blood pressure, remember to check your doctor regularly to test your pressure. And take your medication if you have to. Remember, untreated hypertension is a silent killer.
Mr. God, you know I didn't want to ask you this question a long time. Do you have a JADEP card? You know, if you have a JADEP card, it can save you lots of money when you go to the pharmacy.
Man, certainly, man. I have my own JADEP card, man. I've had it for quite some time now. That's helped me tremendously with my health condition.
That's nice.
Senior citizens on the Jamaica Drug for the Elderly program. Take your card to participating government or private pharmacies that display the JADEP sign. Then collect your monthly supply of approved drugs for the chronic illnesses covered by the program. To know more, call the toll-free number 1-888-GO-JADEP. That's 1-888-465-2337.
Sunday is a family day. We like cook together, talk, share ideas and help each other. We reason about things.
I spend quality time with my family every day.
It is very important because at the end of the day, you have children around you and you have to show them that, okay, this is the foundation, this is the way it's supposed to be.
They keep the family together and in line, you know, and especially with the boys.
If you're thinking of going to the beach this weekend, why not visit one of these that are managed by the Urban Development Corporation? Take a look.
Wondering where to go for fun, excitement, or the opportunity to hang out with family and friends? Look no further. The Urban Development Corporation has a wide variety of recreational facilities, including beaches for your enjoyment. Journey with us to the western end of the island, which is known for its white sand beaches, West Village to be exact. There you will find the Long Bay Beach. Long Bay Beach Park is found along Negril's sparkling 7 miles of white sand beach. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., the beach has picnic benches in the park and changing facilities. Visitors have more than 9 hectares of beach to enjoy at Long Bay Beach Park. On the north coast, the jewel of Caribbean waterfalls reigns supreme at Dunn's River Falls. Dunn's River Falls is one of the island's most outstanding natural treasures. It offers 600 feet of climbing pleasure for thousands of visitors and locals alike. The Dunn's River Falls and Park, which is a popular recreational spot all year round, is open daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. In proximity to Dunn's River Falls is another of the UDC's managed and maintained facility, the multi-award-winning Green Grotto Caves.
This tourist attraction includes a guided tour through an active cave system. The experience is educational, historic, cultural, and a soft adventure. During the tour, emphasis is placed on protection of the natural ecosystem as the caves operate within the tenets of an environmental management system. The caves were the first worldwide and in the Caribbean to be awarded Green Globe certification. This certification confirms that the Green Grotto Caves maintain good environmental and social practices. Green Grotto Caves is open every day between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. and has other facilities and amenities such as restrooms, a snack shop, a logo shop set on well-manicured lawns, and gardens. So we showed you those breathtaking beaches and recreational spots along the north and west coasts. Now it's time to travel to the east. There we'll explore the picture-perfect Reach Falls in Portland. These pulsating falls are situated in a luxurious tropical park found along 5 miles above Manchonil, a small fishing village. The attraction features a cascading waterfall, a picnic area, and a nature trail. The lush greenery of the montane forest and the refreshing pool beneath the waterfall promise a memorable experience. Reach Falls is open Wednesday to Sunday between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. In Helsha, St. Catherine is the Fort Clarence Beach for the beach lovers. The 16-hectare beach park is a popular family fun day and picnic spot. It's also an ideal relaxation spot for residents of Portmore, Kingston, and neighboring communities. Our white sand, fish, and bammy and a clean atmosphere is one that guarantees the best beach experience. So this weekend, why not treat yourself? Opening hours are Wednesdays to Fridays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So when thinking of where to go for fun, excitement, or just to hang out with family and friends, remember to choose from our beaches: Long Bay, Bluefields, Duns River, and Fort Clarence. And for other activities, there are the Green Grotto Caves, Two Sisters Caves, and Reach Falls. The Urban Development Corporation, maintaining some of the island's finest beaches and recreational facilities for your enjoyment. The Urban Development Corporation has a number of properties available for lease or sale. These are the Catherine Hall Entertainment Complex in Montego Bay, Caymanas Golf and Country Club in St. Catherine, Cotton Polyester Complex in Old Harbour, St. Catherine, Ideal Warehouse, Water Lane, Kingston, Chapel Lane Market in Kingston, and Sea Castle Apartment in Rose Hall, Montego Bay. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 922-8310-4 or visit their website at www.udcja.com. You may also follow them on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
Parliament will kick off the sectoral debate this Tuesday, April 7. Practical, pinpointed.
There will be a strict limit on time, so it is 45 minutes.
Tune in to hear different plans and suggestions for the 2015-2016 fiscal year. The following persons will give their presentations to Parliament on Tuesday, April 7 and Wednesday, April 8.
As we close the pages of today's show, we leave you with a verse from St. John 13. It says, "A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Therefore, let the love of Christ be the center of all we do and how we treat each other." Jamaica Magazine comes your way again tomorrow, so join us on this station. And remember, our website, gis.gov.jm, keeps you connected 24/7. We welcome your feedback, so keep sending your comments to Jamaica Magazine at gis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for watching and pleasant viewing.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.